tell you from the overall budget standpoint, from the education funding, yes, it'll be anywhere between 2 and 2 1/4 here. I think where the discussion comes, and this is something that happens every year, but just a bigger difference this year, is on the non-categoricals, whether it be transportation or pupil equity, things those that Brent mentioned here. So on that, that's where, additional monies come into school. I think the overall House package is like a 3.7%. So when you hear like 2 1/4%, that's not really all accurate because we're looking at a bunch of different things there for the overall education spending. The Senate is obviously lower than that, probably about $40 million. Not that the House has a bad spending proposal, but the one frustration we always have every year is just trying to build a budget because we have to set, it's behoove us to get the education funding levels out the doors because the schools have a reverse calendar planning on how to set their budgets. They have to go to public hearings, post levy notices, so on and so forth. But unfortunately, the state doesn't get our budget number until March 15th, which is when, or thereabouts, when the REC comes out. I'm not going to give a huge budgeting class for everyone. We'll probably talk about that a couple more forums. But ultimately, when this March number comes out, it's our overall number of what we can build a budget off of. So it's always kind of complex every year, a little bit. Frankly, we pull our hairs out every once in a while because, you can certainly take the House number, but then the question becomes what type of visibility we have on the rest of the budget, where it becomes to Medicaid, prisons, parks, things like that. That's where it's kind of like, not that we're closing our eyes blind and throwing a dart on the board, but it's always kind of those things here trying to make sure, okay, is the number that we set along to be appropriate enough where we can fund the other agencies out there a little bit. So, but yeah, I think where the deal probably gets made is those non-categoricals. We'll just have to kind of go from there and convene. We're up to, overall spending 3.7%, but the base SSA would be between 2 and 2 1/4. So.